Gem City tonight with Andrew Mitakides, featuring Aimee James and the Gems. Tonight's guests from Dayton Unknown, Sara, Kaushal, and Bethany, Kmied. Mr. Gay Ohio 2018 Lucky. And now your host, Andrew Mitakides.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gem City tonight. I am your host, Andrew Mitakides. Let's just get right on into it, because St. Paddy's Day is right around the corner. And for those of you who already haven't made your Wendy's DoorDash order, it's going to be a good one this year. For those of you who don't know, a little fun fact about me, I was actually married this time last year on St. Paddy's Day. So it'll be my 1-year anniversary. Thank you, yes. I'm amazed she said yes, too. And she stuck around. So if you're watching this, I love you. But here in Dayton, of course, we do a huge thing in the Oregon District, and we have a big festival, and it kicks off with a fun little thing called Kegs and Eggs, which kind of sounds like a drunk fertility clinic, but it's actually a great way to start St. Paddy's Day. And interesting enough, I learned today from Dayton.com that Dayton is one of the best places in the nation. I'm going to say this again, not Ohio, nation, to celebrate St. Paddy's Day. Yeah? Yeah. A study of over 200 cities and 17 different metrics that were used about pubs and restaurants, including, and these are all quoted, St. Paddy's Day forecast, number of parties per capita, beer price, and my personal favorite, the lowest price for a 3-star hotel. Go get him, Dayton. Well, it turns out Cleveland, we did a lot better than everybody else. It turns out Cleveland was 12th. Cincinnati came in at 33. Columbus and Akron, you tied at 38. Sorry about that. And then Toledo brought up the rear at 122. But Dayton, the old DYT, the Gem City, number 10. Top 10 in the country to party for St. Paddy's Day. Yeah. Oh. Ironically enough, Boston, not at the top. You know what it is? Take a guess. Thank you for guessing. Dead silence in the room. Chicago, number 1 place. Boston was actually number 4. Interestingly enough, they wanted to vote, but they were so drunk they just kept writing, "It was a wicked good time in Beantown. Go Sox!" So they never actually filled the survey out. So. But the Oregon District in Dayton is great for pipers, parties, and the people. And it doesn't matter how Irish you are, you can always celebrate this. That's why I love it. I mean, even if you are less Irish than Elizabeth Warren is Native American, boom, you can still celebrate it. It's fantastic. That's why I love this holiday. And if you actually stop and think what St. Paddy's Day is really about, it is about a saint that is a man who was a freed slave, brought Catholicism to Ireland, and banished the snakes from Scotland. However, or Ireland, why did I say Scotland? I don't know why I did that. But if you actually think about it, if you start drinking in the Oregon District, there's a lot of lawyers that show up. So the whole snake thing didn't actually pan out. So I'm going to get sued, and I'm going to have no representation when this is done. None. I'm just going to diagraph and Schultz. If you're watching, I'm calling you. Anyway, so this holiday is one we love. But you know who doesn't blow it out of proportion? The Irish! Thank you. The Irish. They think we're idiots. I give you a perfect example. The Shamrock Shake. Enjoy. Or don't, actually. I did that the last show, but that's the face I make.
You're welcome.
Speaking of celebrations in weird small towns and things that need alcohol, there's a small town in Germany called Lochengreen. I think I'm saying that right. This is what I get. This is when the crew starts drinking at noon. This is what I get. This is what I get. Place called Lochengreen, they recently held a gathering to break the largest group of people dressed as Smurfs. I know. Come here. Smurfs. Who Why? First off, this is a record that A, needed to be broken, so it's been set before, and B, why again? Well, good news, they broke it with 3,000 attendees. Yeah, wrap your mind around that one. Good news, they broke it, but bad news, subsequently, it was the worst case of blue balls the town's ever had. I didn't think I was going to, but I didn't. All right, moving on to another group of people that probably won't get laid. Dayton just announced there's a crock distribution center that's coming to Dayton. It's going to be, it's going to be 130 new jobs. Thank you. It's going to be 130 new jobs, and consequently, the only people who wear Crocs is about 130 people, and they're all in the nursing or restaurant industry. I get they're comfy. I'm fine with that. But stop with the Disneyland and the stop. Just, And have you seen the Croc tan? Oh, yeah, you're welcome. It's like a waffle gone bad. Awful. So, but staying in the Dayton area, and additional to the Croc Distribution Center, Dayton's actually going to tear down the old fairgrounds. Yeah, across from Miami Valley, they're going to tear it down. So, I mean, the fairgrounds had things like X-Fest and country fairs and monster truck rallies. So, I mean, if you have a chain wallet, you have nowhere to go now. None. You are just on your... Spencer's is open. So enjoy that. So they're tearing it down. They're going to call it the Imagination District. I'm not making this Imagination District. So, but we here at Gem City like the name, but we were going to give the city a couple of different ideas. So that part of town, which is okay, all right. We thought a couple different names. One, Dabby Roads. Sorry, the no cash. Lo siguiente, no cash, no cash. And then if they move the marijuana distributor that we're going to get and the Croc into Imagination, we're just going to call it the Crock Pot District and call it a day. I liked that joke. I wrote it. I liked it. Actually, I think Kevin wrote it, but nonetheless, thank you. Switching gears, we're going to go international. The #1 bridge player in the world, if you're 98 and over listening to this, enjoy this. The #1 bridge player in the world, Guillermo Helguimo, I think I'm saying this right, was suspended by the World Bridge Federation for failing a drug test on 2 substances. Yeah, that's the reaction I thought the room was going to get. Because, are you shitting me? What? Last month, the World Bridge Federation, yes, the card game, this is what I'm talking about, that your grandmother played, suspended Helguimo after a random drug test found synthetic testosterone and clomiphene, a medication typically used to treat infertility in women and normally increases the level of testosterone in men. Yeah. Best part of this, it gets way better. The best part of the story is he literally said, and I'm quoting, "I don't have a good understanding of how these drugs got into my system." I don't know what he sounds like. I'm just making this up. I don't know how they got into my system. What? Then later that day, he added this. I think I've been taking weight loss supplements given to me by an unknown bodybuilder. Schwarzenegger was unavailable for comment, so we don't know who the hell it is. So, and then one official goes on to quote, from the World Bridge Federation, can we stop, in fact, there's a World Bridge Federation? Am I saying that right? Federation? Federation, what is it? Yeah, can we stop the fact that this actually exists? He actually said, many of our top players treat our bodies like athletes do. They're careful they eat between games, they stay hydrated and away from alcohol. Yeah, of course they do, because they go to bed at 5 o'clock and they're 105! Kidding? Bridge. Have you ever played bridge? Has anyone in the room ever played bridge?
I thought it was the shuffle thing.
That's shuffleboard. Have you been on a cruise? It's everywhere.
I've never been on a cruise. I don't like boats.
You don't like boats? That's your excuse? Oh, God. All right. Sticking in international news. A few days ago, Trump just got back from the North Korean summit with Kim Jong-un. And as you heard, it was stopped a little abrupt. However, leading up to that, it was fairly nice. I heard they gave each other gifts, actually. So it's rumored that Trump gave Kim Jong-un Rosetta Stone for English, and ironically enough, Kim Jong-un gave Trump Rosetta Stone for English. Wow! All right. Wow. Wow, all right. Not see that coming. All right. If you follow the show, which I'm sure a lot of you do, you know that our writers love food and it's one of the things we talk about. So, just to give the viewers a heads up, Girl Scout cookies are back. Yes, those beret-wearing ninjas are hitting the streets with their diabetic fun. But they have 2 new flavors, I hear, this year. Gonna be right up your alley. 1, I know you're high, and 2, I'll see you outside of Kroger's. It's even funny because it's true. Speaking of food and weird things that happen, there was actually a crazy incident at a buffet in Huntsville, Alabama. Patrons recently had their meals interrupted when buffet goers were brawling over crab's legs. Yeah, Jameis Winston, nowhere to be found for comment. I know that joke's like 4 years old, I'm still doing it. The other eyewitnesses said that at one point the confrontation got so bad that the 2 were using tongs for sword fighting. Sword fighting. I don't know how you do that. We're getting sued by Disney.
Again.
Hashtag getting sued by Disney Gem City tonight. Despite the severity of the altercation, luckily nobody was hurt. They survived. However, one local station reported, and I'm quoting, 1 broken arm, 73 broken legs. Now on to one of my favorite stories that we're doing tonight. An Austrian skier recently was disqualified from competing in the Nordic World Championships after he was caught getting a blood transfusion in the middle of the event. Yeah, what? Okay, I get we do steroids in America, but we need to step our game up. These guys are going to Jiffy Lube and getting a whole new diagnostic. Hi, can I get, 5 quarts of the synthetic AB positive? That'd be great. Yeah, no, I'm on a time crunch. I'll just do it in the lobby. That'd be great, thanks. Caught literally with the thing in his arm. Even Lance Armstrong was like, that takes a lot of ball. And finally tonight, going back to Ohio news, one of my favorite stories. I'm so glad we did it. A nail salon in Perkins Township, Ohio, is currently fighting to keep their name over the dispute over the name of their business. Hand Jobs. I'm going to let that sit in. Hand Jobs, a nail salon, has actually been open for about a year, but recently, thanks to the Robert Kraft and the whole happy endings, it's now saying to be considered obscene. So she's in a conundrum. However, no word has been given on whether the town's most popular tire care center, Rim Jobs, will remain open. And the jury is out where the hair and balloon center, Blow Jobs, will stay open as well. We got a great show for you tonight, but first, this beauty lady and the guys with her, Aimee James and the Gems, everybody. Oh, that was good. I liked ending on that one. They were like, don't put it in. And I was like, don't say that for that joke.
Ending on the hand job? Sorry.
Somebody at home will get that later. Somebody will. All right, so we're going to do a little segment at the desk, which we always do. We always do something that talks about Dayton and the history and so forth. So Dayton Unknown has always been helping us. Not only are they on the show tonight, they actually gave us one of our favorite facts. So here's your Dayton fact for the day. So on March 30th, 1901, the Dayton Daily News staff was actually run by women only. Did you just snap? Local historian Charlotte Reeve Conover, gotta say it right, approached James Cox and asked him to allow the Young Women's League to run the paper and one day to raise money for a new building. Despite predictions of failure, the paper not only went to press on time, but the demand for the paper was so high they had to work overtime to compensate. On that day in 1901, raised $1,800. So there's your fun Dayton fact from the ladies from Dayton Unknown. They'll be on the show here a little bit later, so I'll be asking them questions, asking them about their facts. So I love that we do that. I love learning about Dayton. One of my favorite is, a lot of people don't know why Dayton is actually called Dayton. Do you know?
I don't.
There we go.
Oh,
See?
you have to tell me why, though. Is it because
I don't know. Is it John Dayton? Jeff's wearing sunglasses and totally throwing me off tonight. I don't know if he's winking, blinking, or he's asleep. So we do a hashtag every now and then from the show. And this week we decided to get a little bit personal on my side. The writers had a really good idea and I like it. So this week's hashtag was Ask Andrew anything. Not as though I thought this would get out of hand, but it got out of hand, and quickly. So we're going to go through some of my favorites that we got. So here's your hashtag, Ask Andrew Anything. What's the strangest thing you've ever put in your mouth? Not asking that one. What would your death row meal be? Ooh, that is good. Gonna have to be, if my mom is watching, it's gonna be half white chicken pizza. It's a boboli, and then it's got chicken pine nuts, artichoke hearts, a little bit of red pepper flakes. It's just literally to die for. I don't get a rim shot on to die for,
No.
really.
I
don't, seriously.
What's
all
a
right.
bubbly?
You don't know what a boboli is? Go to a store or ask any woman over 40.
You muttered that.
Boboli pizza.
Just
All right.
sounds bubbly.
How many cans of hair product do you use in a week? 3. What actor would you most likely get into a bar fight with? Just so we can settle the debate, Hugh Jackman, if you're watching, there can only be, it's like Highlander, there can only be one of us. So we need to fight. You're gonna win because you're Hugh Jackman. Why not? I mean,
We've got the claws.
he does have the claws. What superhero do you pretend to be these days? There's the Hugh Jackman question. All right. Ooh, who's your favorite Ghostbuster? Ooh. Gotta go Venkman. Gotta go Peter Venkman. I mean, why not? He's easy. I mean, he's the most fun. All right. If you had a warning label, what would it say?
Slippery when wet.
That's yours. You walked right into that one.
I actually
You
slipped right into it.
If I had a warning label, what would it be? This, don't get your mob way wet after midnight. Don't put alcohol into this thing. All right. Who farts louder, you or your wife? I want to stay married. Would you like a pet spider for Christmas? God, no. How Greek are you? What? Who asked this question? Actually, fun fact, my dad, who for years thought he was 100% Greek, he was like, I'm guaranteed, right off the boat, 1911, right through Ellis Island. Turns out he did the 23andMe, he did the swab thing or whatever. Turns out he's like 60% Greek and like 20% Italian. So now it makes sense because he drives like Mario Kart. So this totally makes sense. Like he's shooting mushrooms as he drives around. Not taking them, like shoot out the, never mind.
Yeah, I tried.
Lost that one. But I'm fairly Greek. Actually, I'm Greek. Gotta see if we can do this. Greek, Scottish, German, Irish, a little bit Native American, and I think and Italian.
I was guessing.
I'm Asian? All right, salmon spring roll, calm down. All right, what else we got here? If you would spend the day with any dead celebrity, who would it be and why? That's a good one. I'm gonna go with Lincoln. I'm a huge Lincoln, I don't know what's a Lincolnite. I don't know. I love books on Lincoln. Lincolnian. Thank you.
making stuff up.
Thank you. I'm glad when there are people smarter than me in the room. That makes life so
He
much
made
easier.
that up.
All right. How many bracelets do you wear at one time? For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Andrew Mitakides. I seem to wear a lot of bracelets, and if you've seen from our segments of like Greek on the Streets, or you've seen photos of us, I do wear, and I think it's 17 bracelets? Yes. Shocking. I'm not a girl in 8th grade. I'm actually a grown man of 34 years old. But each one, if you want to know, has a meaning. One's for my grandmother, one for my grandfather. Some are for suicide awareness, some are for my friends. So everyone has a meaning. So yes, I think 17 is an unfortunate answer. Well, I wanted to wear them on the show once, so if things got slow, I could just tell your future. Just break out some tarot cards and just be like, the cards are not in your favor. It's the only Psychic Cleo voice I have. How do you not see your own demise coming? I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know where she is these days. But, all right, we're going to wrap this up. What's left? If you could switch places with any 80s or 90s heartthrob, who would it be? My floor manager saying Rick Springfield because she's seen him 199 times, and I'm not kidding. Who would I switch with? Ooh. If I had to in the 80s and 90s? Heather Locklear. All right. We'll be right back. We got a great show for you tonight. We have the ladies from Dayton Unknown. We have a great guy, Mr. Gay, Ohio. And we're going to play a game a little bit later. So stick around. We'll be right back with the ladies from Dayton Unknown. Stick around.
It wasn't always like this. My friends were slowly going away. They found other people. And the world was slowly revolving around me. With my classes becoming harder and harder, and the constant stress of applying to college, it seemed like suicide was the answer to all of this. It was so easy to do, right there and then. I could have done it, but someone reached out to me. This person actually cared for me, talked to me, and understood me. Suicide is never the answer. Know the signs, find the words, and reach out.
Welcome back to Gem City tonight. My first guests are fantastic. They started Dayton Unknown. They are Sara, Kaushal, and Bethany Kmied. I had to say that right. Welcome from Dayton Unknown. Ladies. I thought I had a heart last time. I literally had to take a second. I was like, I have to. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right.
We get it a lot.
Well, Mitakides, you can understand.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on the show. So for those of you guys who don't know all the facts that we get from Dayton Unknown, this is Dayton Unknown. This is where we get them from. So tell us a little about it. Who started it? What was the idea?
We kind of started together. I actually was just really into the history of Dayton in general, and I came across the fact Dayton was actually named for Jonathan Dayton, who was a Revolutionary War soldier, and he's never actually been to Dayton, never came in, and I was just so blown away by that. I shared that fact with everybody, like, hey, did you know? And nobody did. So that's kind of how I got the idea for the blog. Like,
by the way, people who are watching the show, they just learned that's why it's named Dayton.
Yeah, it's still a surprise.
There you go.
So I had the idea to start writing it, and Bethany helped with all the web design, and if not for her, it would look like just a big block of text.
So how long has it been up and running?
5 years.
Nice.
We just celebrated our 5th anniversary.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I can't let you go anywhere. So, you'll give us all these fantastic facts. Individually, what's your favorite fact about Dayton? Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, we've covered a lot, and we
yeah.
found out a lot. One story I like. There was this automobile racer named Earl Kaiser, and in like 1905 or so, he was in a wreck and lost his leg. And so he mailed it in a package that said, "Handle with care," to Woodland Cemetery, and asked them to hold on to it for him. And then they buried it, and they said like an out-of-the-way nook. And
His leg.
His leg.
Okay, so we're not sure we're still on the same page here.
His leg. And it was there for 31 years until he died and was buried with his leg and reunited.
Top that. Take that. That's not as good at. Go on.
Well, my favorite fact was Library Park in Miamisburg. Used to be a cemetery. It started filling up, so they started exhuming bodies down the street to some new cemeteries they'd opened. But there was a haunting, and a girl who they said was a woman in the city that had been murdered a few years prior started appearing every night at 9 p.m. And it was so regular that people would come in from out of town and they could see her. It was clockwork.
Ooh, I love a good haunting.
Yes, but the residents did not love a good haunting because after a while they got so fed up with it that they started doing things that they were exhuming bodies to try and get rid of her. They were hoping that if they exhumed her body and moved her down the street to the new cemetery, she'd stop haunting the place. Finally, one night in a big crazed fit, they took clubs, guns, weapons, and they tried to attack the ghost. And it actually made the Maryland
Primitive
Times.
Ghostbusters. We're trying to.
Didn't work.
Okay.
She continued to haunt for a very long time. But the next day, after that whole huge fit, they exhumed every body in that cemetery and moved it down the street. It actually made the Maryland Times.
Nice. When was this?
1880.
Oh, so just a few weeks ago.
A couple years ago, yeah.
So, one of the questions as I was going through this and so forth, I wanted to know, as you guys have researched so much about Dayton and everything that's done, what do you think Dayton's impact relative to the U.S., the world? I mean, it's a great city, but in terms of what we did for other people, we get cash register, we get the flight, but what do you think the biggest impact or development for the U.S. and the world?
I think it'd be hard to pick just one. I mean, the obvious answer would be the Wright brothers, but we also have...
You're welcome. Kitty Hawk.
North Carolina.
Hey, Kitty Hawk, you paying attention? Get out of here.
Exactly.
I'm coming for you. It's wind and sand my ass. All right, sorry.
But we also have the cash register, Freon for air conditioners.
The Boolean search method.
Heart and lung machine.
Heart and
was
lung,
The heart and lung machine.
Yes.
parachutes.
The ice
The
cube
step
tray.
ladder. I like that one because I'm
There's so
short.
many.
Me too.
Yeah.
The Cheez-It.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Esther Price.
There's one because of
Bazango.
I don't know, you might not know this one. There's one from the 1913 flood called the hydraulic jump fountain. And it's a way
You
of...
did tell me this.
I thought we
Yes,
did.
yes, yes.
It's a way of controlling how the water is released back after it's held by the dams and the levees. And so it doesn't flood all at one time.
So we basically had the idea for the Hoover Dam. Boom. You're
Okay,
welcome,
sure.
Nevada. That's where the Hoover Dam is.
I don't know. I was actually.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
It's by the Grand Canyon, right? Because that's where everybody goes when they go to Las Vegas.
Stop talking. We're just getting in more trouble.
See, we're Dayton Unknown, not Nevada Unknown, so...
Right now, we're all unknown. Right now. All right. I'm going to question these ladies a little bit more, but stick around. We'll be right back with the ladies from Dayton Unknown. We're back here with the ladies from Dayton Unknown. So I love the fact that we're just exploring things in Dayton. But once again, individually, this isn't a team answer. What's your favorite monument in Dayton? Because we have a few.
Just a couple. Actually, I think the flyer outside of the Engineers Club I think that is my favorite.
It's just a connection with the actual Ripe Flyer,
Yes.
who, at the 200 points in a trip to Aruba, which one's standing and which one's in the seat?
Orville standing, Wilbur's in the seat.
She knew.
I always rely on her to remember.
Trip to Aruba.
We tried to start a hashtag called Selfies with Orville because his hand is held just right that you can put your cell phone in it and pose with him.
All right, so if you're watching, we're going to start hashtag selfies with Orville. So Dayton, please, or if you're visiting, go to this. It's outside of the Engineers Club. It's off a monument, correct? And do it. So the next time you'll see a picture of me on Instagram, it's what it's going to be. All right, yours?
Ooh, it's I think it's the 6-pack of cans for Ermel Frays for the Pop Top. Because
You're welcome again.
I grew up in Kettering, and I didn't even know that's why the Frays Pavilion is named the Frays Pavilion until I was at a museum in Columbus and saw the fact somewhere and learned about my own city while I was in a different city. So I think it's probably that one because it's representative of my city, you know.
It's pretty cool. And I love the fact that I actually learned from these ladies, there's actually 7 monuments around the Dayton Dragons Stadium and surrounding areas that highlight the cash register, now I'm on the spot. The fountain, the ice cube tray?
Yes?
The ice cube, why I made that noise. The ice cube tray, the cash register, flight. Can I phone a friend?
Self-starter.
The self-starter for your car,
The Pop Top.
the pop top, and
Boolean search method.
the what?
It's, as best we understand it, it was developed by LexisNexis, and it's a algorithm, I guess, for search terms on like Google and search engines.
So what's the monument look like?
It's actually, it looks like a bus stop. It is, it's right on Monument
That's how
Avenue.
inventive we get.
But it's right on Monument Avenue, and it has little, looks like benches, and it says and, not, or, and
Oh, I
and
have
but.
seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. I
using-
stumbled by it drunk when I left a Dragons game. That's right. Okay.
It's using Boolean geometry, or Boolean math, algebra maybe. I don't know.
Some kind of math.
Sorry to my math
Want to read a
teachers.
book when you go home? Because I do. Because I don't feel that. I don't feel that smart. I'm gonna watch Jeopardy, but actually I tape it so I can watch it again and have all the answers and I look smart. You think I'm kidding? All right. So last 2, favorite place in Dayton to go eat, hang out, whatever. You're going somewhere. Where are you going?
The Dayton room at the library.
Where we had our interview.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
actually, we spend a lot of time there. Hi to Martha, Nancy,
Yes.
our librarian friends. We go there to do our research, to do any kind of writing for the blog.
So
Also, just quiet place to work.
in the Dayton room with Martha with a revolver.
Yes.
Got it.
Usually
Okay,
with a
cool.
laptop, though.
With the laptop. Ooh, it's modern Clue. All right, you?
I'd have to say Woodland Cemetery. There's a lot of history there. What?
Are you seeing the leg? Are you going for the leg?
No, yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
go look for Earl Kaiser's.
We're going for the leg.
But no, there's beautiful views of the city. It's an arboretum as well, so there's a lot of trees and foliage. And then there's just so much history that it's just, you kind of go there and you're just, everywhere you look, you're like, that's a street name, that's a street name. There's Paul Laurence Dunbar, there's the Wright brothers, there's Irma Bombeck. It's like everything Dayton is right there.
True. Last question. Favorite place, not Dayton. If you could go to any city, any place in the world, where are you going?
Do we have to
Not
have
everybody at
been
once.
there-
Not everybody at
Do we
once.
have to have been there before?
No, not at all.
Because I mean, I know where you would want to go.
Where?
India.
Okay, thanks. She answered it for me.
Yeah. And
You want to give a little backstory instead of just going?
My husband is from India.
There we go.
So we want to go back to his like city, basically, see his family.
And he's in the audience tonight. I love it. He just goes.
he claims her.
I love it. This is fantastic. You?
I've always wanted to go to Paris. I've always had a fascination with
Patty.
French and French things, and the Eiffel Tower. I have an Eiffel Tower tattoo. So that's my dream some days to go to Paris.
Actually, my favorite is you have a Dayton tattoo.
I do have a Dayton tattoo.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh,
See, it's the skyline and a heartbeat because Dayton is my heart.
aw.
So.
Oh no, I love it. And actually, speaking of that, the shirts that they're wearing, which They were kind enough to give one to my wife and I, which is awesome. It's got the Dayton skyline, and if you can zoom in, it's got a semicolon for suicide awareness. So actually, I have the semicolon. My wife does. Sara does. So it's a great way to incorporate, and the comfiest shirt I've ever put on in my life. Are you kidding me?
I love it.
It's ridiculously comfy. All right, I'm going to let these girls go, but I'm not letting them go far because they're going to play Bean Boozled with us here in a little bit. When we come back, we'll have Mr. Gay Ohio and the only man who's dressed better than me tonight. So stick around. Greetings, Gem City Tonight viewers. We here know that mental health and suicide awareness is something that is in the forefront of a lot of our minds, and especially mine. It is something that is near and dear to my heart that has affected me personally. So you, or if anyone you know is suffering, please go to afsp.org or call 1-800-273-8255, the National Suicide Helpline. You're not alone, and you never will be. Thank you. All right, welcome back to Gem City Tonight. My next guest, fantastic guy, way better dressed than I am. It's Mr. Gay Ohio. Put your hands together for Lucky. Please, you brought a accoutrement.
Heck yeah, I brought a gift for you too. So before I sit down, I'm going to put this on you. This is a lapel pin. And it is the rainbow colors, and that is to thank you as well as Gem City Tonight for your support of the LGBT community. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, of course.
All right, that guy sitting down
Now
there.
I have bling too. So.
Yes, you do. Well, yeah.
So you had to outdo me. Look at this thing.
That's right.
Do you wear this? Is this something you've worn on stage, or is
Oh
it?
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay, that's.
and more. Trust me. This is light.
We're on before 11 o'clock.
Yes.
We'll do that later. So, what? Are you? May I?
Sure. Yeah, it's got some weight to it.
Oh wow! You can stop a puma with this thing. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Is it? Okay. Can I do the interview like this? Can I do it?
I don't trust you with that.
No, I don't either. Yeah. No, but that's. So, how does one get involved in this?
Well, the Mr. and Miss Gay Ohio pageantry system actually is based out of Columbus, and it is an organization that we actually try to give back to the community. It's very similar to like the Miss America pageant if you were to go to that. So contestants will go through a business interview. They will go through a formal wear. They will go through a talent presentation. But most importantly, they also go through a community platform where you have 3 minutes to talk about what your community platform is. And then from the judges panel, you get an opportunity to answer a question based off of your community platform.
Okay.
So to get involved, if you want to be a Miss, you need to actually pre-qualify through a preliminary competition.
Okay. I like how you did this.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Mr., the competition is actually open. So you can just show up to the state level, pay your entry fee, and compete.
And this is every year.
This is every year.
So
yes.
this was your reigning year.
This was my reigning year. I'll actually be stepping down on the 29th of March.
So we get you at the end of your.
You're getting at the tail end. Now the beauty part about this particular year is the Mr. and Miss Gay Ohio pageantry system has opened themselves up to be all inclusive. What that means is whatever gender you identify with, you may compete for that title. So if you are a biological male, if you are a transgender male, or if you are a drag king, you may compete for Mr. Likewise, if you are a biological female, a transgender female, or a drag queen, you may compete for Miss.
Adam, there's hope for you yet. So, what do? You kind of talked about how it's sort of like Miss America. Do you go around the state and like go to events? Do you? She has duties. Do you have duties?
Yeah. I first of all, I'm at every Miss prelim. I'll be at another one here in about I guess after this airs. Yeah, it'll be. But I go to each one of those. Raising awareness of my community platform is my other duty, and actually just supporting the system and supporting Pride in general. So June is a very busy month. We hit up pretty much every city we can to be at their Pride festivals.
Pride Month. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So how is, one of the things that I wanted to ask that wasn't on the list that I sent you, because I wanted to spark it on you. What have you seen, because I know because you were an Air Force brat, so you
Yes.
moved around,
Mm-hmm.
but what have you seen in the development of the LGBT community around here in the city of Dayton and its impact? Because we have Mask, we have the stage door, we have MJ's, we have the Right Corner.
The Fruit Loop.
Yeah, the Fruit Loop. I'm sorry, that's really what it's called. It's really called the Fruit Loop.
It's the easy way to say it, yeah.
So, and I love everyone who's been involved in it and so forth, but what have you seen in the development for that community in this town?
I would say there has been a definite growth in acceptance for the community, but that's also in general across the United States. 20 years ago, it was not like that. There was a gay bar and there was a straight bar, and the gay people went to the gay bar and the straight people went to the straight bar. And if you were a straight person and you went into a gay bar, there was that fear of having to hang on to somebody, otherwise I'm going to get hit on, which is absolutely not true.
No, at all.
Guess what? We know.
Trust me, I've
Called gaydar. Yeah, we know.
First off, I have no gaydar. First off, and second off, I love like going into Mask, and I even bartended at the stage door, and it's just. I love it. It's one of the almost no judgment places. First off, the music's great. Everyone dresses well, and the drinks are good. I was like, why wouldn't you go?
The drinks are good and cheap.
Very true. And if I was your bartender, they were strong.
I know.
So, a little heavy hand.
So I would say, I would say, in answer to the question, the acceptance level has definitely gone up. Now you get your protesters, especially around Pride. I had an interesting experience. I stepped off the float after the Pride Parade here in Dayton, right there at Courthouse Square. And one of the protesters decided to shout out really loud, "Shame on you, Mr. Gay Ohio." And I turned and I said, "Thank you for getting my title right." And went right on into the festival.
And I love that. I love stuff like that. All right, we're going to be right back with Lucky. So stick around with more Gem City Tonight.
Make-A-Wish grants a wish every 17 minutes. I know that sounds pretty magical, but in fact, it takes more than magic. It takes muscle. So, when a kid like Fabian wishes to be a superstar, things happen. Whoa! Or when Kahim transforms into Super Kahim. He feels invincible. It's because wishes have proven physical and emotional benefits that can give children with critical illnesses a higher chance of survival.
Help us make sure every wish comes true. Join us at wish.org.
All right, we're back with more Gem City Tonight with Mr. Gay Ohio Lucky. So, before we get into the fun conversations and the fun questions, I have to point out, myself as well as our other two guests and some of the staff are wearing the Mr. Friendly pin. And you are wearing the Mr. Friendly amulet.
Yes.
Just in case Indiana Jones comes looking for that thing. So, what's the story with that?
So the Mr. Friendly organization is actually now an international organization. It got its grassroots out of Michigan, but it is a nonprofit organization that actually helps to fight the stigma of people living with HIV. There's been much progress made in research, finding treatments, finding cures. In fact, I think there was an article that just recently came out. Dig deeper into that article. It gets, the title's great, second person cured, but there's a lot more to it.
Right.
And people are living much longer and healthier, normal lives than they were back in the 80s when this whole thing came out. The problem is there's still a social stigma out there. The fear that being in the same room, the fear of touching, the fear of actually having sexual relations with somebody who's HIV positive. The problem is this, there's people out there that just don't get it. So the Mr. Friendly organization actually helps to open up friendly dialogue and help to fight that stigma, educate people, put them all on the same page. I myself have actually been positive come April, 21 years. I'm still here. I'm still here. I am healthy. I get up every day and go to work, and then I put this stuff on at night. So.
And I love explain the pin, because it's a plus sign and a negative sign.
So, yeah, if you can zoom into that, and I've got more if anybody wants them. But it's a smiley face, and it's got a positive sign and a negative sign. And the whole idea is this, positive or negative, we are in this fight together. If you can't say something with a smile on your face, don't say it at all. It's not necessary.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So you thought this was going to be Whitney Houston jokes. No, it's going to, no.
Didn't get you a gay manual before you got here.
I don't know. I have no gaydar. Everyone's just awesome to me. So, I have to ask, did you sing a song in a pageant, or what did you dance to?
I'm actually a clogger.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
One more time?
I am actually a clogger. In fact, interestingly enough, 5 Points Elementary in Fairborn is where I went to elementary school, and I am an original 5 Points clogger from back in the 3rd grade.
Does anyone have idea what just happened on this show? We broke like 9 different things. If you're not watching this show, you're missing out.
So if it tells you anything, I'm 47 years old now, and I've been clogging since the 3rd grade.
I wish I would have known this before we did this interview, because we would.
You'll just have me come back and bust out. Yeah.
But you need to teach me so we can do like a thing.
Absolutely, yeah. You got it.
So I always ask everybody, best place in the day. If you're going somewhere to eat, drink, hang out, where are you going?
Ooh, I got to be careful with that because I work at one of the best places to eat and drink. I'm going to say Pies and Pints at the Green.
It is good.
Best beer, best pizza, and 4 times in a row, best wings in Dayton.
It is. It's fantastic. I cannot thank you enough for being here.
Oh, thank you. It was my pleasure.
I'm not letting you go, though. You're sticking around for our game.
Oh, boy.
So hang out. We're going to play Bean Boozled, not only with the 2 ladies we had before, but with Lucky. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Gem City Tonight.
If you've been affected by suicide, you're not alone. Suicide is a leading cause of death that affects millions each year. In most cases, it happens when stressful life events overload the coping abilities of someone suffering from a mental health condition. And the most common condition associated with suicide is depression, an illness that goes undiagnosed or untreated far too often. But the research is clear. Suicide is preventable if we work together. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has set a bold goal to reduce the annual suicide rate 20% by 2025. We can save tens of thousands of lives, but we need the help of everyday heroes like you. People have suffered in silence for too long, and too many families have had to weather their losses alone. You can change that. We need you to be the voice for suicide prevention, because talk saves lives. Learn how you can fight suicide. Visit afsp.org today.
Welcome back to Gem City Tonight. My 2 guests who have stuck around for an unwilling game of Bean Boozled. In front of us, garlic, pickled bologna, and jelly beans. What we're going to do is play Never Have I Ever and see who lasts the longest. Sara, ladies first.
Have you ever sent a dick pic to the wrong person?
Oh, God.
This is...
Feeling pretty good.
Oh, my God. Why did I do it? It's like feet.
That's a straight face if I ever saw one. Never have I ever lied to get a date?
Is this rigged?
It's all right, I'll go too.
Oh, that was like apple. How high is my mic turned up? Can we hear me chewing? Oh. Have you ever been arrested?
Oh, wait a minute.
How many do I have to eat?
Never have I ever been arrested?
Never have ever been arrested.
Okay.
Hey, can I play?
All right, you're up.
Got Mother Teresa over here.
Yeah, really.
Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Never have I ever
Okay.
faked an orgasm.
Time to eat.
All right, go us for that
Hang
one.
on, no, sorry.
Wow!
Maybe after 12 I'll tell you how that happens.
Wow! All right, lucky you're up.
Oh, never have I ever gone commando.
Oh,
Come on.
get out of here with that.
Get it, girl? All right.
That's a community. That's a community. Yeah. Why did I buy this? All right. Is it me? Okay, it's me. Have you ever peed outside?
Oh,
Jesus.
I've got the equipment.
It's like sticking to the roof of my mouth. It's like chocolate bologna. It's so bad. Why did I do this?
Chocolate bologna. Ooh.
I'm not even sure what this is asking. Never have I ever sharted and lost. Lost?
I know.
I have to
Well, I know the sharted part, but it said and lost.
probably catch
It's
up.
like a torpedo. It just leaves the hunt for Red October.
Never trust a fart.
Never trust a fart.
Okay, good advice.
Just saying.
Oh God, that was like coconut. God.
Oh, jeez. Never have I ever had a one-night stand.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh, hey! Communal! Community!
Yeah, sorry, Mom.
Oh, that was a booger. Why am I getting the bad one?
I still say the bologna's the worst part.
Goddamn rigged.
I can't taste the jelly bean.
I can't take.
Hang on. Sorry, Mike.
Have you ever met a celebrity? Do we count?
I think we count. Go for it.
Bullshit.
I'm just enjoying your face as you...
I'm like three at once. I'm popping like Pez. I figured if you put one on one side of the other mouth, it would help. It doesn't help. It all meets in the middle.
That's what she said.
We're getting tweets. We're getting tweets. Gem City tonight, by the way. All right, you're up.
My hands are greasy. Never have I ever shoplifted.
Are we choosing not to move, or we're just not? All right, how many are left?
Oh, I guess
Just
that's
one.
me. isn't
Oh,
it?
that's you.
Oh, God.
Oh, Judge, eat.
Never have I ever farted in church. Just gonna finish on
Give me
that.
your meat. Give me yours. Just give me all of it.
You want my meat?
No,
On
no.
church.
I'll just finish this.
We're thanking my guests for playing Bean Boozled. We'll be right back after this.
Not on my watch, they say, as they volunteer to serve, as they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So, not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives. Even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option, we won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Dayton Unknown, Mr. Gay, Ohio. It's been a fantastic time. The game, I can't believe we did that, but that was fantastic. I want to thank everybody for coming out, my crew. And remember, you're not alone, Dayton.
And you never will be.
Have a good night.
Mm-hmm.